Blessings, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in for another episode of Jazz and a Cup of Coffee, the channel within the channel. I'm Dane, your host. Hope you're doing well wherever you may find yourselves. Today is a CD I'm going to talk about. It's one of my favorites of all time. But like I like to do each and every episode, only, it's a new a new series, channel within a channel. It's my third episode, so I want to do it every time. I like to tease you or see if you can guess before I tell you what album am I referring to. So on the front cover, one of my favorite jazz album covers of all time. If you were to say, well, what are your all-time favorite album covers, regardless of whether it's artwork, photograph, hybrid type thing of all genres, this would be in the top 200, 250. There's a piano on the cover and someone sitting at it, but the garb in which they're wearing is not what you would normally think someone who's going to play the piano would be wearing. There is a tied up Nazi war criminal in the background, and there is a written, scrolled thing on the wall that says, or carved in the wall, wooden panel that says Vive la France. There is a female freedom fighter in the background holding her gun by the back door. There is a cow. There are grapes. There are assorted knickknacks and things, a lot of liquor bottles, open and finished, that kind of thing. There's booze everywhere, essentially. And if you haven't figured out by now, a lot of brown colors. I'm talking about Thelonious Monk's masterpiece, one of many, called Underground, 1968. Columbia Records, I do believe. And so now it's time to share what blend I'm having. And remember, there are no sponsorships, there's no money changing hands either way. This is just sharing my love of coffee, because let's face it, if you go to a cafe down here, at least in the metropolitan New Orleans area, especially downtown and thereabouts, you're going to hear jazz music for the most part in the cafes. They go so well together. Community Coffee's King Cake blend. Now, does this taste exactly like King Cake? It doesn't, but it has hints of it. If you're not familiar with King Cake, it essentially is a large pastry in an oval shape that is a sweet bread that has sometimes stuffing, pick your poison, blueberry, cranberry, Bavarian, you name it, apple, all kind of things. That came later. The traditional King Cake there are all kinds, does not have any filling. It's just the sweet bread with white frosting on top, icing, and then powdered sugar in the Mardi Gras colors that are purple, green, and gold. This is essentially cinnamon spice and vanilla. You don't really taste the bread flavor, maybe a hint of it. I really like this blend, and I'm having it with just a touch of oat milk, something that I've been trying recently, trying to get away from the powdered cream, if you will. It's kind of bad for you, that sort of thing. So anyway, cheers, everybody. All right, so let's talk about this album. This is the special edition, even though it doesn't say so. I got this, I couldn't find this years and years ago on CD. I don't know if you can still get it on CD, but I found it in a collection about, 4 or 5, maybe even 6 years ago on Amazon in a collection that comes with 5 discs. So it's the cheap cardboard. It doesn't have the, the plastic case and all that. But this is the special edition, as I said. So there's some bonus tracks that are not listed on here because they wanted to go with the original back album artwork. So the tracks are as follows, not counting the bonus tracks: Thelonious, Ugly Beauty, Raise 4, Boo Boo's Birthday, Side 2 if you're a vinyl enthusiast, Easy Street, Green Chimneys, In Walked Bud. And then the bonus tracks are, let's see, I did not write them down, but I can go from what's here. You have a alternate track of Thelonious, you have an alternate track of Boo Boo's Birthday, and you have an alternate track of Ugly Beauty that come to give you 10 songs in total. I like the original's version. It's interesting, the version of Boo Boo's Birthday that made here, I think doesn't say, but if memory serves, it's the 11th take, so it took 11 takes to get the crew down to which one they wanted. So let's talk about who else is playing with Thelonious on here. Charlie Rouse, tenor sax, which I loved Charlie's tenor sax style and vibe and mood. Larry Gales, bass, and Ben Rally on drums. And then the last song, before you get into the bonus tracks, In Walked Bud, the vocals are by John Hendricks. The engineering, Fred Plott and Arthur Kennedy 1N. And this, of course, is produced by the marvelous producer-engineer Teo Macero, who I think did some Miles Davis and some other things. I think he involved himself with Santana at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I don't know everything, right? And who should? So let's get started. So the first song is simply named after the artist Thelonious. It's very playful, short piece, but it's quite invigorating. It's fun. It's happy. It's piano only, so hence the title. It's just Thelonious by his lonesome playing. Great track. The next is Ugly Beauty. Great oxymoron. It's moody. It's a lovely piece, though. It's slow paced. It's not an up-tempo like the previous song. It's dreamy, it's compelling. I know I use this word a lot, but I really love jazz that is intoxicating and mesmerizing, and this is definitely in that realm. Everything is wonderful. It's not just Thelonious on keys, it's the whole band. This is a great lineup for his band. It's an epic track. It's just shy of 11 minutes long. It's just fabulous. The bass that begins to resonate more, does that in around the middle of the song, so about halfway in, the bass becomes a little bit more intrusive in a good way, but it's still ironically sort of back in the mix, but it's just loud enough, and it's perfect the way that is to give you that wonderful vibe and mood that you want from an upright bass. I tried playing this. I have the tab for this song. And about, I don't know, a month ago, I pulled it out and I tried to play it on electric bass. It just doesn't have the same vibe as the upright. So anyway, it being silly, of course, but you know, you tamper and you play around, experiment kind of thing. So the bass is warm, but yet so powerful, despite the fact that it's kind of back in the mix. It's not muddled or anything, it's just low. So the bass taking over, then fully for just a short while is like 3/4 in. It's brief, but I do like that. And then you get returned to all the instruments after that. So the bass really begins to be more noticeable in the middle of the song, and then 3/4 of the way in, as I said, it's where it gets a moment to shine, and then all the members come in, and it ends that way. It's just a fabulous song. So again, Ugly Beauty, highly recommend this album. If you haven't heard it, highly recommend this song. The next is Raise 4, an upbeat piano intro. It's a song you can tap your foot to. The bass here is such a delight. Of course, I'm biased as a bass player. Now, and that's all I have to say about the song. It's just wonderful. Boo Boo's Birthday is next, a silly song title, but it is what it is. This is a celebratory song in a quiet way. Of course, it's celebratory because it's a Boo Boo. It's Boo Boo's birthday, whoever Boo Boo is. Has a romance vibe to it. So you think of, your film noir. You could play, that could be part of a soundtrack. Maybe it has been, I don't know. But it makes me think, in addition to celebrating someone's birthday, it also gives you a romantic feel. Casablanca, black and white, that kind of thing, right? So anyway, Rouse's sax here is phenomenal. Probably, as far as his sax playing goes, this might be the highlight of the album. It's very relaxing, and his phrasing is just beyond superb. Beyond superb. I can't say it enough. Beyond superb. It's charming, essentially, what I'm saying. Overall, the song has a quiet yet powerful charm. I love it. Next is Easy Street. This is also another charming song. The title suggests you're sitting somewhere on Easy Street, wherever that may be, or you're taking a stroll down. This is probably a song most people who are not that familiar with jazz have heard at some point because they're sitting in a cafe, or it's probably in a movie. It's very recognizable, if you ask me. I remember when I first heard the song, probably, 30 plus years ago, I'm like, wait a minute, I heard this song before. and hadn't realized it, so that's what I mean. This was before I was into jazz, or was beginning to venture into jazz waters. Thank God I did. This is my favorite song on the album by far. They're all good, but this is my favorite song. It's a pure delight. Next is Green Chimneys. It's upbeat. Can dance to this one. This is what I like about this song. It's fun. This is a gotta move song. As I said, you gotta dance. The bass is phenomenal. Perhaps the best song of the album with respect to the bass here is this song. It's 13 plus minutes, just shy of 14 minutes. So another epic track. Again, you can dance to it, and you can dance all 13 and change minutes here. So it's not just part of the song. There's a drum and sax interchange near the end of the song, which is just delightful. It's fantastic. This is my second favorite song on the album. And then finally, I'm not going to go over the bonus tracks. They're just alternate takes of the ones I said earlier. But In Walked Bud is a song about a friend of Thelonious Monk. It was written as a tribute or to honor him. Originally composed in 1947. Bob or Bud Powell was a dear friend of Thelonious, so also pianist, and so he wrote this song, as I said, to honor him. The lyrics and vocals are by Jon Hendricks, as I said earlier. I'm not one for vocals much when it comes to jazz. If I'm going to go that route, I usually like the ladies when it comes to jazz. Think, Nina Simone and that sort of thing. But I like Chet Atkins. Chet Baker, his voice. But here I do like the voice. This is a great song. And so I do find the vocals quite alluring, even though that's usually not my cup of tea, but here it is. So this song is based on the Irving Berlin standard Blue Skies. And as I said before about the other song, this perhaps is a song, if you're not a big jazz person and you hear it, you're like, wait a minute, I've heard this before. And of course, it's the Irving Berlin sound that you're hearing that is kind of in most of our DNA. Many of us, our DNA, because of our pop culture sensibilities or our culture sensibilities, or just what I'm trying to say is because it's so iconic. It's in the water, it's in the air kind of thing, right? So anyway, this is a fabulous album. If you've not heard it, give it a try, as you should try this Mardi Gras blend. Again, a wonderful album. Here's what the album cover looks like. Great album cover, very busy. And then here's the back, the original vinyl. So this comes in the collection, as I said, and it's meant to mimic the vinyl originals, which is kind of cool, but I prefer the jewel case. So if you are familiar with this album, tell me what you think in the comments. Do you like it? Is it okay? That kind of thing. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed Sunday. Take care now. Bye.